what do you think when you hear that 97% of scientists believe that climate change is man-made, yet according to a Yale study, 33% of the American public still thinks that there's a disagreement between scientists on climate change?
So here's the thing with this climate change and why, like, all the smart people can kind of be like, well, you know what, it's probably us. But all the regular people are like, oh, no, that ain't no real thing. Well, so, like, someone actually in my family brought me, like, a thing, and they were like, well, who was it, the cave people that caused climate change the last time? And I was like, well, you know, that's kind of an interesting question. I mean, the climate could change on its own. It has in the past. But it's that whole kind of simple, deflective, just off the surface level thinking that, well, it could possibly not be us, and the liberals are saying it's us, so I'm going to err on the side of hating liberals like I do everything else, so they're probably lying. So,
something I was going to say, something interesting actually about that is that, like I said, we had reached 400 ppms of carbon in the atmosphere. The last time that the atmosphere had that much carbon dioxide in it was 300 million years ago or something like that.
Pre-humans, so before humans.
And so the fact that we had seen carbon accelerate so much since the Industrial Revolution says that it's not. Yes, there are natural cycles of warming and cooling and everything like that, but what we're seeing right now is not a natural cycle, and it's been incredibly accelerated since we started burning fossil fuels.
Well, we knew that. We've known this since before Al Gore put out his Inconvenient Truth documentary, but people wanted to just shrug it off and call it, you know, nonsense because of who it's from, because it's Al Gore. They downplay the actual science behind it. Well, he wasn't the one conducting the studies. He's just reporting on what is truth. We should have paid attention in 2005 when the documentary came out. This isn't new information that we've had. People have been arguing that there have been fluxes in the environment for a long time, but there's never been a flux like this where it just skyrockets off the charts.
Yeah. See, the problem is we're having a conversation based on empiricism. So I assume all of us sitting here, we've seen different studies that say different things about global warming. So, for example, I covered one on the show the other day that somebody took a look at. It was a meta-analysis of all of the studies done all the way, I believe it was from 1992 to 2012, around 13,000 studies on climate change. Only 24 of them didn't say the same thing, which was that, of course, climate change is real, largely man-made, and we need to do something about it. But see, that requires work. Like, you actually have to sit and read something and absorb it, whereas about half of the people involved in the political debate, they're anti-empirical. So what they do is they think, well, my gut tells me that it was cold last Tuesday in North Dakota, therefore global warming's fake. Yeah, but there's a difference between weather and climate. Climate is when you put all of the weather events together to see the pattern. So
you see, that's when you start to lose regular people, when you say stuff like, there's a difference between climate and weather. I get you, of course, and that's the way people should talk. But other normal people, they're like, what are you talking about? Of course it's the same thing.
Yeah, idiocracy, right.
You had brought up earlier about the money angle, the fact that it actually makes people a lot of money. It makes corporations a lot of money to say, oh, yeah, global warming, bullshit. But drill, baby, drill, let's go.
That's actually, Jeff, I think, the more important story. I mean, it's obviously easy. We could sit here and have the conversation about how anywhere from 25 to 40% of the American people, with their extreme religiosity, I mean, obviously they're crazy, right? But at the same time, when you ask the question, how is it that they are winning the debate on a national level? How is it that you have politicians like Paul Braun saying evolution is a lie straight from the pit of hell, and other politicians like that are on the science committee? They're on the science committee, right? And the reason is it all comes back to the fact that big oil, the natural gas industry, the fossil fuel industry, they paid them to do that. So, and think about it, all you have to do to stifle any advancement, right, is you have to just raise the question. So if you just keep insisting that it's still a debatable issue, then you can drag your feet on it and we cannot pass any legislation to seriously address climate change and global warming. It's the same tactic, by the way, that the tobacco companies used back when the debate was, do cigarettes cause cancer or don't they? We're not sure. We should still debate it. Let's have an open forum and discuss it. The time for debate is over, and we just need to find a way. Once you get money out of politics, from there, then we can actually seriously, substantively address all these problems. But until we do that, unfortunately, nothing's going to get done.